Try this again. I have never played Unity of Command before. Don't know what kind of game it is. Assume it's like a strategy or tactics thing. We're going to be playing the Stalingrad campaign Soviet because we think that is the base campaign here. Oh, I do not see a tutorial option. FAQ. Tutorials in main menu, scenarios, Stalingrad campaign, tutorial. Okay. Let's see if I can find it here. Scenario. Here we go. Got it. Thank you. Hey, Carito, how you doing? Turn-based game of operational warfare. In this tutorial, we'll introduce you to the game environment, walk you through the basics of moving your units and attacking. Wonderful. Yep. After completing this tutorial, we suggest you play the introductory scenario next. You can also check out the game manual, which is accessible from the main menu. Okay. Map scale is 20 kilometers per hex. The map area is bigger than your display. You can click and drag to move it around. There's a strategic mini-map to the right. The hex grid is not visible by default, but you can enable it from the game menu or by pressing G. Okay. You can see terrain icons by clicking Show Terrain or pressing T. Weather can be dry, mud, or snow. You'll be able to see all three types in different parts of the map. See weather icons, press W. Playing the German Axis side in this tutorial. Soviet center of the enemy, and their territory is colored red. Turn this off either from the game menu or by pressing P. Front line remains visible regardless. Mission is to capture objectives, which are shown as red target-like symbols, like this one. Okay. See their detailed descriptions, click on Show Objectives, or press O. Info sheet over here shows you your current progress. Your score is based on how timely you are. Okay. Units, like this guy down here, represent divisional or corps level formations. You just place an example unit on the map. The earlier auction was Ratchet & Clank 3. Unit sheet appears in the unit selected, showing unit properties. That's this guy over here. Okay. German Jaeger. Ooh, experience. Looks like this game is pretty good about giving you detailed tooltips. Take special note of the steps, which are a measure of unit strength. They appear both below the unit icon and the unit sheet, so that's these little pips underneath it, it looks like. It's the same unit again, but now we've given it the full number of movement points it gets for the turn. This is shown by the white arrow. Okay, I see that little guy there. Click on the unit again. The move outline shows how far the unit can move in this turn. If you hover the mouse pointer anywhere within the outline, the route arrow appears. So that's kind of nice. I can see the hex grid while selecting one of them. White numbers on its tip shows remaining move points after moving. Sure. So I can go to the edge of this little outline. The game is a really clean looking design. The visuals are super polished. They didn't have to make the little guy's head turn as you move there. That's cool. You can get a taste of how weather and terrain affect movement by examining different routes available. Move the unit by clicking where you want it to go. Reload this topic to try again with a different route. Okay. Gotcha. Action points are used to attack enemy units. Given our unit the single action point it gets for the turn, shown by the Thunderbolt symbol. Okay, so this means it can move and it can act. In addition to attacking, the AP can be used to give the unit extra movement points instead. This is called extended movement. It's pretty standard. Select the unit. Move outline is orange at first. It shows that the unit can attack. Okay. Switch to extended movement by using the mouse wheel or pressing space. Gotcha. The outline is gray. If you move the unit far enough to require it converting the AP, the unit won't be able to attack afterward. Makes sense. Placed a Panzer division on the map to demonstrate how combat works. It can attack any of the 3 adjacent Soviet units. Click on the Panzer, then hover over an enemy unit to see the combat sheet. I really like to just like simple blue versus red. This game looks really clean. Hovering over an enemy unit, press and hold the control key. Oh, I see. It shows me the odds. 9, 5, 3. Gotcha. Hovering over the enemy unit, press and hold control. Oh, then you can move it over to the combat sheet without moving off of it, I see. Big numbers at the top are probable losses. Hover over different enemy units to see how big these and other values change depending on which unit you're targeting. Gotcha. So I expect to lose 0, and they expect to lose 4. Overrun probability. If they retreat, this is the probability of an overrun. 0 versus 3. 0 versus 2. With a retreat probability. Okay, yeah, let's reload it a couple times. Destroyed. Oh, then they moved away. Interesting. So can I hit this one multiple times? I guess it's because this is a bigger army, which is why it has more pips underneath it. That makes sense. But then it moves away on the same turn. Oh, that's interesting. So I got to go again after killing this one? Is that what overrun is? Lets you keep going after you kill something, maybe? I think that's right. Zone of control is the influence enemy units exert into surrounding hexes. If your unit enters, does overrun only happen when you actually kill them on that turn? That's a cool way to reward aggression. I always think about that with these like tactical style games that it's really easy to automatically incentivize a very turtley defensive playstyle. So I appreciate games like Advance Wars that add things that incentivize playing aggressively. Zone of control is the influence enemy units exert into surrounding hexes. If your unit enters enemy zone of control, it will be stopped and unable to move, so it's like an opportunity attack. Okay. Select the German unit. Zone of controls are shown as orange dots. That makes sense. To see all zones of control, press Z. Gotcha. Weak units do not exert zones of control. When we placed a weak Soviet infantry unit on the map to demonstrate this, notice the weak indicator both on its icon and on its unit sheet. Okay. I think that's a little icon in the top right corner of him, right? Do I see the weak indicator? Oh, here it is, weak. Cool. It's a cool bit of design space there. So I move there and I stop moving. But I can move all the way around this guy and it doesn't matter. Got it. That was a pretty good tutorial. Rivers create a natural obstacle to unit movement. To cross a river, unit must first position itself next to it. Then it must wait for a full turn before it can conduct a crossing. To simplify things, we place 2 units on the map. Notice how the unit farther away from the river can only advance the river line and no further. The unit next to the river can cross immediately. Move the unit across the river. Its AP icon is now gray. This means its AP is locked. It can still attack, but it can't move away from the river by using extended movement. Clever. That's a really neat way to have like a significant terrain element. This game seems like it's doing a good job of making very abstract combat rules, but also still having them be inspired by real-life things. It's hard to get right. Yeah, it's a 6-gun subblock. Air attacks are a theater asset. You get a certain number of them in every turn, in this case 4. Click on air attacks on the sidebar to highlight possible targets. Got a target to highlight. Oh, I see it. Marks in orange. Bridging is another useful theater asset. You can build new bridges, destroy existing ones, or repair. Oh, that's cool. Click on bridging in the sidebar to show bridging locations. Places where you can build or repair bridges are marked with blue symbols. Bridges you can destroy have orange symbols. Close to enemy lines, or destruction is not guaranteed due to enemy interference. Hover over to see the odds of demolition. 72%. 100%. Hover over the bridge to see the odds and click to blow it up. Nice. You can just use those. That's pretty awesome. Makes sense. Very cool. Capture the objective. Six Gun was saying this is like an indie tactics game, and there's a sequel that came out recently, or is being developed right now. I saw on Twitch it listed Unity of Command 2. Use your newly acquired operational skills to capture objective number 1. If you don't succeed, reload this topic and try again until you do. Okay. So the more dangerous units are the ones that have lots of pips on them, right? Like the tanks are pretty dangerous. Unit strength. Steps are a measure of unit strength. Red steps represent the active combat-ready part of the unit. Gray steps are suppressed. Oh, that's a neat mechanic. You could suppress some of their strength without actually killing them. Let's see. Oh, odds are down, I see. So I'm able to suppress some of them. Gotcha. Sure, yeah. Let me restart here. It's good that this is on the tutorial. Makes sense. Odds -1. I got odds -1 for everybody. Suppression recovers if you don't actually succeed in killing them, sure. Is it just more likely to suppress them than it is to kill them in some cases? I guess it's just a random roll. Just trying to understand where best to use my mechanics here. They rarely kill them. Okay, I guess that makes sense from a flavor perspective, right? It's mostly making it so they have to take cover. They get to counterattack on their turn. Gotcha. They can attack and move in that order, that makes sense. You just chill this turn, I guess. You don't need to mess around with bridges at all, right? I guess I could build a new one here. So that they can cross it on the same turn. So how does the bridge work? Is this that you need to have a bridge in order for a vehicle to cross it, but it still requires a full turn of movement even if it's a human unit or something like that? This guy gets to move. Oh, it takes a whole turn to build. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. Okay. Can I quickly see, is there like an end turn button here? Show zones control, show weather, end turn. Oh, it wants me to capture it in a single turn, I think. Gotcha. So I can try to do that instead. Let's try that. So let's suppress the heck out of this guy, I guess. He does not want to get hit here. Ow, ow. I don't have to reselect it every time. Okay, good to know. Well, that would have been nice. Let's try that again. Learning the mechanics here still. I see what you're saying. Oh, and because he's been weakened, he lost his zone of control. That's cool. Makes sense. I think I actually want to airstrike that guy. He looks like he's more dangerous. That's the only way I'm going to be able to make it to the capture point. Oh, never mind. Perfect. Now completed the tutorial. For the next step, we recommend you try the introductory scenario Crimea before attempting other scenarios or campaigns. Okay. Cool. Crimea, introductory scenario. Here's a guide through some of the more advanced mechanics. Germans complete the expulsion of Soviet forces from Crimea. Soviet forces in the Kerch Peninsula are disorganized under poor leadership. Strike there first, turn your attention to the fortress at Sevastopol. Victory in 7 turns, decisive victory in 4 turns. I like that. A brilliant victory, capture every objective. This is great. This is the feedback thing that I need games to give me. We'll talk about it more when we play more Warcraft 1 next week, but like, I think a lot of my struggle there is that if I get a level where it gives me a specific number of units, I go, oh, okay. I'm intended to be able to complete this mission with the units provided. You know, and in a reasonable amount of time. But in any other mission, it's like, well, this could take me 2 hours to do badly. Or maybe 20 minutes if I know what I'm doing. Prestige is added to the score. This is the introductory scenario. You should complete the tutorial to cover the basics before attempting this. By the metrics in the top right. Oh, okay. So that's Kerch and Sevastopol. Cool. So Kerch is a higher priority even though it's further away. That's interesting. I like that. That's a cool way to guide your playthrough, you know? Tanks seem like they're pretty good at murdering. So I think Overrun doesn't necessarily require that you murder all of the units, just that you murder many of the units. And maybe only tanks have the power to overrun. 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Maybe I can improve my odds there, right? 0 and 1. And he flees. Cool. I really, really like the suppression concept and the zone of control concept. Those are both pretty great. I can't share the same space as any of these other units. I see. So we can't help too much from over here. Unless if I get really lucky with airstrikes. Maybe force this guy to retreat. Ah, no dice. Power of body blocking is pretty strong. Oh wow, 4? Okay, well, we don't want to fuck around with those guys. Got it. Oh, that means dug in? Okay. Gotcha. I assume that they will fight from their end once they have the opportunity to. Let's see. This game's really cool. I'm digging it so far. It's got some neat ideas, and I get 4 airstrikes every turn. The Romanians suck. Oh, these guys? Okay. Out of supply in 2 turns. Interesting. Yeah, I like the suppression mechanic. I think makes it so that airstrikes aren't like completely busted. You know, they still seem pretty strong. Ah, that's a bummer. He ran away. Nice overrun. But I don't have a lot of movement for the turn, I see. Destroyed. Yeah, so getting Kirch in 2 turns seems pretty difficult. Oh, 4 2 turns? So it's already out of supply. Does that just mean that they can't attack in that period or something? Brilliant. Nice overrun. Brilliant. Now I gotta capture. Okay. So what is the territory? Does that mean anything if you're controlling territory like that or not? Affect your movement, or do you get like a morale boost inside of the line? Supply throws through my color and is blocked by theirs. Oh, that's an interesting mechanic. Okay. If I recall correctly, I can extend it move. Yeah. Get down there and take them out. City in ruins. Oh, does ruining the city like affect their ability to be dug in or something? Cool. Need to cut supply lines. How do I visualize supply lines? Are these guys struggling with supply because they're past this mountain range or something? It's hard to fight in the city. Show terrain. Oh, sure supply network. Huh. So I want to be on squares that have large values or low values. Why is this much movement? Which is this space? Oh, it affects their movement. That's interesting. Is that part of why this tank is having a hard time crossing this mountain range due to lack of supply? I can actually reach him down there. Gotcha. So, like, the road here is the most efficient to move along. That's a pretty neat mechanic. Reached. Awesome. Rail is best, cause 0 movement for supplies, road is decent, flat ground is fine, swamps, mountains, and forests suck. Okay, that's a neat idea. Alright, back to main menu. Campaign. Notavan, do you know what the base campaign of the game is? I bought like a pack that had DLC on it. The box art I grabbed said Red Turn, but I'm not sure if it should actually be the Stalingrad campaign as Axis versus Soviet. Black Turn? Really? Okay. Operation Barbarossa 1941. Army Group North. Tasked with clearing the Baltic states of Soviet forces. You rock, the Russians sucks. They have no tanks, no air, supply is good, weather is good. Yeah, it's no worries. I'll make sure I update the box art when I put it on YouTube. And then Red Turn is the X-Pack. Usually I can Google game name box art and it gives me the default one, but I got very few hits for this one. Von Lieb. Kuznetsov. Start scenario. Oh, they are both DLC? Okay. I thought I saw turn names in the, go back to the menu. The DLC list. So, I was under the impression the game was called Unity of Command Stalingrad Campaign, but I'm just not sure. It sounds like we want to play as Axis. Misjudged Soviet offensive at Kharkov. Strikes right into the teeth of a main Axis force assembling here for the summer campaign. Okay, cool. Misjudged Soviet offensive at Kharkov strikes right into the teeth of main Axis force assembling there for the summer campaign. Divisions available in this sector encircle and then decisively crush the enemy. Use your reserve sparingly. You want to keep as much of your prestige as possible for the future. So remind me, how do reserves work? Okay, so these guys all show, I think that means they're dug in, right? Entrenched. Stronger defensively. Once dug in, it will remain so until it moves or attacks. Entrenchment may be undone through enemy attack, especially when engineers are used. Okay, that's cute. That was an accident. Whoops. Can I, is there a restart button? Hold on. I have to remember to hold control. I'll turn the minimap on. I guess I don't really need the minimap. New campaign, please. Thank you. Alright. Don't attack the tank this time. Cool, CSX gun, thanks. Reserves are extra troops you can request, but doing so pisses off Hitler. I suck too much to do this, I need help. So you get more prestige if you don't call in extra troops. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So it's a way to tie together the individual missions in the campaign, I guess. It's clever. Hooray, suppression. That tank is running away. Did not realize there was more map below me. Let's see. That's cool. So it's kind of like a rich get richer mechanic. Now, some of these guys are showing as suppressed even though I didn't actually attack them. Is that just because they're in unfavorable terrain or something? Whoa, did I misread that? I must have misread that. Oh, they tried to attack prior to the level starting. I see. Guess I'll keep that for now and try to figure out what the game wants me to do. Oh yeah, no, this is turn-based games, much more in my wheelhouse. Avoid fighting. Is there a way to attack indirectly? Are you saying to, like, instead of fighting all of their soldiers, just go for the objective and don't worry about trying to actually kill all of them? Interesting. Oh, I like that. I like stuff that's more objective focused. Now, part of what's tricky is there's the river cutting me off from getting over there, so I may as well try to kill as many of them as I can over the river, I suppose. Sure, so like, everyone's dug in over here except for this guy, so attacking that guy kind of makes more sense. Now, I feel like I'm misreading the odds page there. I thought this was saying it's expected I'm only going to lose 0 and then I'm going to lose 1. But that's only a chance for that to be the case, right? Which is why it's not playing up to the prediction so far. Gotcha. Cavalry. You said the Romanian soldiers are bad because they don't want to be there? Knowing that it's more objective focus is helpful. Thanks for that. These guys are not about to have a good day. Let's not have them attack them. Breached. I'll have to practice this a couple times. I'd like to see more games adopt something like the suppressed premise. It's a cool concept. Where it's like, yeah, you didn't kill anyone, but you didn't waste your time by attacking them either. Oh, that's interesting. They do a lot of their movements before they start attacking. I play a lot of tactical RPGs, or tactical games, but nothing quite like this one. Is there a penalty for becoming entrenched? Like, Do you have to spend movement to get out of that position or something? Gotcha. Brilliant. Oh, I did get an overrun. It's on tanks only. I see. The main struggle is crossing the river there. Now, there is a bridge. And I can try to request a bridge be built or destroy some, right? There aren't any building options that are useful to me. Hey, sir. This one is going to get cut off and starve to death? Oh, because it's surrounded by red enemy territory? So the way I would fix that is by killing one of these units that is blocking him off, basically. It's clever. Now, what's going to actually cause this space to open up? Does there have to be a unit standing here? I'd have to take a bridge. So he still counts as out of supplies. I see. So this game weirdly has something kind of in common with Go. That, like, a way to win is to surround opponents so that they can't... They're cut off from their main supply. So what's the source of supply? Is it the cities? It's like Go, but my pieces can kill their pieces. Yeah. That's cool. No, I like this. This is a different take than I'm used to seeing. What other games are in the same genre as this one? Is this like an indie take on like a AAA franchise, or is Unity of Command the only dev really doing a game like this? Still not looking great. This guy's going to be out of supply because he's just way too far from the nearest source of... I see, so it says no supply in these squares. And from the source, the number of supply goes down the further out you walk. Gotcha. This is pretty different from something like Advance Wars. Oh, the mud is causing the problem? Supply, terrain... Oh, I see. Weather's raining there. Gotcha. Really like the zones of control concept. There's a lot of cool ideas in here. Oh, this is like war games are like this. I've known some people who have been into war games. I've never really had the fortitude to try to play them. I think having the computer adjudicate stuff makes it a lot easier for me to grok it. Rain causes mud. Russian mud is a horrifying monster. Oh, so did that unit just request a resupply? So what's happening here with the partisans? They're doing something to my territory without me being there or something? They like throwing... It looked like that was like a potato grenade, but I couldn't tell what it actually was. It's like, literally, what is a partisan? Oh, when does 5.2 hit, Ravanon? Because they're sending in, like, little fighters that aren't actually on the map, but just take territory, basically. And just being in the space is enough to undo it. Gotcha. That's clever. Now, is my Panzer here unable to attack because of supply line issues, or what's the deal there? Get him out of there ASAP. Just anywhere back in supply territory should help. Turn the supply back on. Oh, really? How would I do that? I guess I don't have the vision yet to see what you're describing. There's a single Russian unit protecting the huge bridge. North of the Goggles Catman. See if I can find him here, sorry. This guy. Oh, this bridge right here? Now, what gives me the ability to destroy their bridges? I have to be, like, on that space? Bulge. Okay, so you're saying that one of these units here, if they die... Really? Help me to understand why that is, like... So there's supplies coming from this town, right? Uh-huh. Alright, let me see what I can do. Yeah, tank northwest of Gok. I do. So it is the bridge that's right there. Okay. Hits them from the north, he cuts them off. So he would have to use extra movement to do that? Oh, I guess he can't because there's a mountain there, right? That's my big problem. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I have to kill this dude to be able to do it, though. Push him back. Okay, so you like, they have this big line and you're trying to like break a hole in the line and get through. So like there's a gap here that once I start having enough movement to move units through there, that's going to be pretty advantageous, is what you're saying. think I'm following you. I'm not going to be able to do that this turn, but I could try to do it next turn. Now, if I wanted to make some of these guys dig in, is that an option I can select? That's cool. So it's not route, it's like the exact opposite of route the enemy strategy. Okay, and that's what the computer's trying to do here. They're trying to like go, surround, and cut these guys off. Gotcha. So there's a lot of units that you use for territorial control. You never actually intend to use them for combat, like how you said the Romanians are pretty much to recapture partisan territory. That's interesting. So this guy down here is like super fucked now. And these guys are not looking great at the moment. Tanks and mechanized units are god tier, basically that's top. Does this mean that I've restored supply and that these guys are cut off now? Or will I not see the results of that until the next turn? Oh, the whole thing is cut off. Oh, and it's because of this supply source down here, that's the problem? That they've blocked? Why is it cut off so suddenly? Is it because of the river there? Because I've lost the bridges. But if I built a bridge here, then that might be able to make it to them on the next turn after it finishes building? Maybe? Kill the one infantry. Oh, this guy? Because he's technically blocking the space here, right? Let me look at the list here. What's sitting on the road? This one. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Gotcha. And this guy holding that is really screwing me over right now. No, so close. Might have to send a Romanian. Oh no, he can do it. But I can send a Romanian to get in there, right? Okay. So that's helping a little bit, if I'm understanding correctly. But I'm still in trouble down in the southeast corner, mostly because of all these guys down here. Oh, I saw a little pop-up there, sort of with a C. Didn't see what it said. So does supply update live on the turn, or is it just saying this is your current state of supply as of this turn, and then it will refresh when the next turn starts? Die versus dug-in units. Sure. By status updates it into turns, by range updates live. Okay, gotcha. And it doesn't take them long to starve to death, it looks like, right? No, I'm really into this. This is cool. I feel like it probably takes a while for you to develop Unity of Command vision, like to see where the weak points are in the line and who you should be attacking, but it feels like it's learnable. That gives you pretty immediate feedback when you're doing something wrong, right? Yeah, it's more of a puzzle game. Makes sense. So this guy's out of supply, right? Or he will be soon. Okay, let's get somebody on that square. Things are way improved after killing. So that tank holding that bridge was really fucking over my guys in the corner here, is what you're saying. Gotcha. City in ruins. They can't attack this turn, okay. They're too out of supply to attack. So like they have a round where they can still attack but you're in danger, and then another round where they can't attack, and then on the next round they usually die, I assume? Oh, that's smart. So it's like, okay, warning, fix this problem, now they can move but can't attack, now they can't move, now they're dead, basically. It's very cool. Yeah, run away, we're fucked. Sure. Overrun. Brilliant. Let me see if there's any other bridges I want to build or destroy here. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I like the concept of this game very much. So this is like one of the first attempts to make a digital version of what's historically been largely a tabletop genre, right? I assume this is less complex than the tabletop games can be. That was generally what I thought about from watching other people play those tabletop titles. Wow, those must be insanely complicated. Nice overrun. Trying to get on that bridge. Most of the complexity comes from figuring the odds. Oh, sure. Yeah. This game helps a lot by just doing that for you. That's cool. Yeah, and like computer adjudication of rules is really important for crunchy games like this, I think. Like, it's so frustrating to me. One of the worst feelings in a tabletop RPG is that realization, oh, I was supposed to have a +3 to attack 2 turns ago, and it would have changed everything, right? It's like, do we go back? We probably shouldn't. It's too janky to go back at this point. So you kind of want to like keep pressure on the front. You don't want to leave open spaces, it seems like. Oh, and I've got a little icon if someone's still able to act versus move. Gotcha. No, what calculates strength? I don't think the tutorial explains that at all at the beginning. I can definitely see the go component here, so if I was able to, like, get all around these dudes, I wouldn't even have to fight them, they would just starve to death. Tank with 5 pips is as strong as 5 tanks with 1 pip. Okay. Adds up all your pips versus all their pips and then calculates the odds. Okay. Oh, and they're trying to do it here. They're succeeding in doing it here. So I basically have to maintain a supply line for an entire turn. Like they can, if I have units who are starving or in a bad situation and I feel like I fixed it, they can screw it back up again on their turn and like, it doesn't refresh their starvation rate, right? Because they've basically just abused the fact that I had a hole there. Sure. No, that makes sense. That makes it a lot harder to try to deal with then. Overrun means they retreat if they weren't killed, I think. Oh, nice overrun again. But I guess I'm completely suppressed there. Not good. Yeah. Bonus attack for getting hits in, right? So this guy being down here is extremely bad. Like, he's really fucking up my supply, right? Everybody that's over here is basically dead next turn, and I cannot save them. Okay. And that also means that, well, previously I may have had a chance to... Oh, it looks like they can still move, so maybe I can get them into a supply territory. Some of them, anyway. Oh, really? I didn't realize you could chain overruns like that. There's just a chance of that happening all the time. I do like the way rivers are this natural border that you're really trying to control and use to your advantage. Okay, so I see why they're all arranged in a line at the start of the map now. And how you shouldn't just be like taking guys out from your line to try to help kill another unit, because you're gonna die if you're not careful with that, right? Okay, so I think when we play this game again, if 6gun keeps us on subblock, I'll restart this map, but I think I've learned a lot from this attempt, so it hasn't all been a wash. Ooh, 1 killed. Yikes. Guy does not want to die. probably should have just suppressed him first so that I could have done more damage with the tank. Retrospect. There we go. So now that guy will be saved next turn, I think. Oh, this might actually still be winning. This is sub-block at the moment. Guy's dug in. Not doing shit with him for a while. This game is really cool. I'm very into it. I'm not very good at it at the moment, but I'm also not horrifically terrible like I am at Warcraft. Not that they're a similar genre at all. So I'd be very interested in playing this more and eventually getting good at it. This is very much my shit. Get on this bridge here. So, like, this dude, I could fight him, but it's kind of a waste of my resources, right? Because he's so cut off, he's just going to starve to death eventually anyway, right? What you're saying about trying to minimize unnecessary combat? Oh, him in particular I have to fight because he's on top of my supply lines, right? Right. But if he were in basically any other space, then I could leave him alone, more or less, right? It's just because he happens to be on that one square that he's so dangerous. Alright, let me go ahead and save here. Sure, load game works. Whoa. I think if I just go campaign, it just loads where I was. Continue current. Resume play, just making sure I kept my save. I did. Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks, Six Gun, if you watch that on YouTube in the future. That game is really cool. Excited to play more of it.